Howdy folks, I just got back from watching the latest Echoes of Wisdom trailer, and boy are my arms tired. Stupid. So there's so much to talk about with this trailer. Like I said in my reaction video, I just watched it the once. I am so tempted to watch it again, but I don't want to be spoiled on all of the various interactions and solutions, and just, you know how I am about spoilers. I like to go in fresh. Oh, but it's so good. It's so good. It's such a good trailer, and I'm so excited, and there are so many things to talk about. I'm just gonna start spouting stuff up. Let's start with like the biggest stuff, the biggest takeaways from the trailer. Number one, first and foremost, is the bind ability. They did that thing that Nintendo loves to do. They give you the trailer, they introduce the basic concept, and then the follow-up trailer, they give you like that other thing, that other twist that just deepens the concept that much further. And in this case, it's the bind ability. It's the ability to just kind of like create like a magical link with an item. It can be an object in the world. It can be one of your echoes. It can be enemies. And this just kind of like locks you in place with them so that if you move, it makes them move, or if they move, it makes you move. And I'm gonna tell you right now why this is extremely exciting for me. That's the biggest thing in the trailer right there. That's got me the most excited, because I love the idea of the whole echo ability and being able to summon stuff. I was just like a little bit worried that it would make the gameplay slightly too passive. You know, it's a little bit just coming down to summoning the right thing and it just kind of doing it for you. You know, you create an object to get somewhere, or you create an enemy to fight the other enemy. And I was worried that it would be a little bit too open-ended, kind of like, you know, very wide but not very deep. And what I've always loved about 2D Zelda was just how puzzly it was, how puzzle boxy, how it's got all of these moving parts that all work together, and that was very important to me. And I'm, you know, very slightly worried that it would just be a little bit too hands-off, especially considering we're not Link, you know, just using items, swinging a sword, shooting arrows, that kind of thing. We're Zelda and we're summoning stuff. But this right here, this has assuaged most of my worries, because this is that hands-on, just like tactile, puzzly feel that I was looking for, because you know that they're gonna have loads and loads of situations, lots of the, you know, the dungeons. They haven't really showed off like a lot of like dungeons and stuff, but I'm sure there's gonna be tons and tons of puzzles where you're using the, you know, the bind ability alongside the echo ability to do all sorts of weird, cool, bendy stuff. Like that right there, it's just, that was the extra dimension that this game needed. And I'm so happy that it's there, because now I'm dreaming up all of the possibilities, all of the different kinds of challenges that the game could provide, and I'm so excited. I'm really excited. I know with my first video, I was a little bit of a worrywart, and I know a lot of people didn't really like that. It's just like 2D Zelda provides such a unique experience versus where the 3D Zeldas have gone, and so I don't want this to just be the 2D version of that super open-ended 3D experience. You know, I want it to scratch the 2D Zelda itch in a pretty good way. Even if it wants to do something new, I just kind of wanted it to strike a balance, and it does seem to be striking a better balance. It is funny, though, that like even more of that Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom DNA is present in this trailer. Like, you can really see how much of those games is in this game, and I suppose it's wise. I mean, those games have sold better than any other Zeldas ever in the history of Zelda, so like it only makes sense for to have that experience kind of carry over. And you know what? It's actually cool, because I have been saying for years now how I miss that dual nature of the 3D Zeldas and the 2D Zeldas, how like back in the day with like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask over to Oracle of Ages and Seasons, you get a lot of the same themes, a lot of the same NPCs, and then you have the same thing with Wind Waker going over to Minish Cap. They had this like shared DNA, and I've been really missing that because we haven't really been getting a bunch of 2D Zeldas, and so now we get that again. We get a 2D Zelda that has that shared DNA with the last couple of 3D Zeldas, and it's I don't know, it's fun. It just gives me this warm, fuzzy feeling, just seeing all of this, you know, the stuff in these big epic 3D games, but like reduced down to just a cute little package. And speaking of which, cute 2D, you know, top-down, whatever, Gerudo. So that's great. I don't think there were any Gerudo in the Oracle's games. I could be totally misremembering. I really don't think so, though. I feel like this is the first time that Gerudo have been in a top-down Zelda, and that's awesome. It's adorable. I love it. And speaking of NPCs, we've got Gorons. They look so cute. I love Deku Scrubs making a comeback. It was a little bit sad that Majora's Mask, the Deku Scrubs were, you know, they were their own race, and they were sharing this world between all, you know, the Gorons and everybody else. And so it's really great to see them return as an NPC race, because they weren't in Breath of the Wild, even though they, you know, they brought back the Rito, and that was really cool, but I guess they just didn't really, like, narratively have a place for the Deku Scrubs. I hope they come back in a future 3D Zelda, but here you go. They're in a new top-down Zelda, and I love that, and they drink smoothies. I'm really just stream of conscious here. Smoothies, that's a new thing. You can make smoothies. Just, I guess it's basically like this game's version of like potions or elixirs or whatever. Cool, yeah, why not? Smoothies. Zelda games always have these like, these cute little gimmicks, these cute little things, and like, why not smoothies? It's a very Nintendo thing. It'll be in this game and no other game forever. No other Zelda game for the rest of time. This is the one with smoothies. Why not? Because why not? Ooh, and then you've got other items that you can equip, kind of like a Paper Mario badge kind of system is kind of what it looked like, kind of augmenting your abilities. That's fantastic. That is my jam. That is my thing. You find a new item and you see what it does and you get all excited and you figure out your build. She's got different costumes. That's fantastic. I don't know how much those will play into things, but probably a fair amount. I don't know if they augment her abilities too. I'm not really sure, because again, I only watched it the one time, but if anything, it's just cool that you get to dress up in different costumes. I like that. And then that reminds me, missions. There's a whole mission system, and that's another thing that's kind of just carried over from the Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom formula, but carried over into a top-down Zelda, and that's fantastic. I mean, it's especially fitting in a game like this, you know, where it is so open-ended, and you're acquiring this huge library of these echoes, and you have these equipable items and costumes and all that. And so it just gives you something to do. It gives you just something to, you know, go around just helping people out. In a very simple example in the trailer, somebody like wants to see a slime or something, or a choo-choo, whatever they're called in top-down Zelda. So she makes one and they see it, but there's other people who need help. Someone's looking for their Kuko or something. It's great. It's something to do. I like that, you know, especially in a 2D Zelda. Sometimes you can beat them so quick because it really is just a series of puzzles and you just tackle these dungeons one after another. So I like the idea of the overworld being populated with all these NPCs, and they just have different stuff for you to do, you know, even if it is like kind of busy work. I like busy work. When I'm enjoying a game and I like to just spend time in the world, yeah, just give me stuff to do. Give me little, you know, boxes to tick. Give me little checklists to work through. Let's see, what else did we get? Horse! Ooh! Riding a horse in a top-down Zelda. That's fantastic. I've always imagined it. I'm sure many of us have, you know, especially way back in the day when we got top-down Zeldas more regularly. I always imagined the day may eventually come when a top-down Zelda lets you have a horse. And we're here. We're here in this fantastical space age future. Science has finally discovered a way to make a top-down Zelda with a horse. Awesome. It looks really fun too. You can like hop over stuff and up small ledges, which is really cool. Just seems really fun. Seems like a really nice way to traverse around. It almost seems like too easy, you know, because a lot of these trailers have been dedicated to showing the player like figuring out how to traverse these areas and using all of these different echoes. But it kind of seems like once you get the horse, you can just kind of jump up and around any place with like uneven terrain or whatever. I don't know. That's probably for the better. And speaking of which, The map. I know a lot of us have been a little bit concerned that it might share a little too much DNA with the, Link to the Past, because we had Link to the Past, and then we had Link Between Worlds, and I really did not like the idea of them using the map again. I wasn't too worried about it because it did seem like there were differences. It is clearly inspired by it. It's very, very clearly supposed to be like kind of more or less the same Hyrule, but I don't believe it's just like the same map again. There seem to be a lot of differences. It seems to be bigger. I don't know if that's true, but considering all of these different tools they've given us for traversal, and especially now that we can ride on a horse and all that, it kind of feels like the map is just going to be a little bit more expansive. There's going to be more of an emphasis on traversal, on moving around. It is possible that maybe not, maybe it'll be about the same size, but instead there will just be more emphasis on the puzzly side of traversal, of how to get around, how to get up that ledge, how to get through these rocks and all that stuff. And I'm all for that. That would be cool, make it dense. Yeah, sure. And they showed off the fast travel points. That's cool. And they put a little spotlight on the river Zoras versus sea Zoras, which my mind is still blown there. All of these years, I don't know if there was any like official word on the differences between these two types. I had always just assumed that the river Zoras, I just thought that was the old version of Zoras. The first games, I thought that they just were like, okay, we made fish people. And then when Ocarina of Time came around, they're like, let's make them look a little bit less Swamp Thing, and kind of give them their own unique kind of look, their own unique spin on the idea of a fish person. I kind of just thought that was a redesign. And I don't know if I was just wrong or if that was the case, but then this is them, kind of building it into the canon, which if that's the case, then that's incredibly clever, separating them into river and sea. I love it. I think it's really cool. I cannot wait to see the dynamics, the assuredly complex socio-political dynamics between them. Just love how much of it, I already said it, I guess, but I just love how much of an emphasis there is on the NPCs and all the different races, and it's cool. It's really, really cool. Ooh, and then off the top of my head, I believe the last thing to talk about, it teased these holes. We know that there are these rifts that are opening up. I would not be surprised if like Hyrule Castle itself was just going to be stuck in a rift for pretty much the whole game. I mean, it would be kind of a nice change of pace if you could just go into Hyrule Castle. It wasn't like the final dungeon or whatever. It was just kind of like, I don't know, it's where Zelda lives. It's just her house, you just go in there whenever you want. But yeah, they teased the rifts, and right at the end, it shows her jumping into a hole down into the rift, and this could be a lot of different things. I think this far in the process of marketing the game, it's not going to be anything so major as like a Dark World kind of thing, it's possible, like Dark World, Light World. I really don't think so. I think they would have advertised that already. My current guess is this is how you're going to access the game's like major dungeons. You jump down into these holes and you have to solve something, do a dungeon, beat a boss, and then maybe that heals the rift. And that would especially be cool if that then allowed you to explore the area that was engulfed by the rift. And so now you've got all these various areas around Hyrule, and you're slowly rebuilding it, and that's opening up new areas. I'm sure you're going to have rifts just kind of blocking thing. In fact, I have like YouTube open right now, and just on the frame that I happen to be paused on, I can see just on the mini map, they're in a place, and you can't see it on the actual, like, in the gameplay, but on the mini-map, you can see there's a big rift, what looks to be blocking access to the left side of the screen. So, yeah, no doubt, there are going to be rifts all over the place, and that's a fun mechanic, things blocking access, and you gotta do something, jump down a hole, do something cool to fix them up. I like it. Good Zelda-y stuff. So I think that's it. I think we should stop it there. But yeah, just to reiterate, I did, I was very excited for the game. I just had a few worries, And this trailer has helped a tremendous amount. And I mean, suffice it to say, I am even more excited than I was before. I am extremely, extremely hyped for this game. I absolutely cannot wait. And I'm once more so pleased that they didn't announce it really far ahead of time. It's always so refreshing when a game that you want to play so badly is revealed and it's coming out. You just gotta wait a few months. Thank you. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. We only have to wait until the end of next month. It'll be here in no time. And then we've got Mario and Luigi Brothership coming like right after that. Hold on, when is that? November 7th, end of September, and then we wait like a little over a month, and we get Mario and Luigi. Oh, what a year. This is turning out to be a real year, isn't it? Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, that's fantastic. Jeez, all they need to do now is have a September Direct and shadow drop Metroid Prime 2 and 3, and my head will just explode. That'll be it. That'll be enough.